Hello everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be learning how to draw the basic bodice pattern. This pattern we're drawing today is just for a basic bodice pattern. And here with me, I have two boxes which I have already drawn. And these boxes, the length of this box from this red line to the bottom is 16.5, which is the length of my front measurement. 16.5 on both sides. We are going to choose one side for the front pattern and the second side for the back pattern. And remember, in my last video, I explained why the front length is usually longer than the back length because of the bust, and how to take the measurement, how you're going to tie the waist 2 inches above your belly button. Please, if you don't understand what I'm saying, you can check my video on how to take your accurate body measurement. So here we have the length, the front length. I use the front length for both boxes, the front and the back. So, and then the width of this box is bust measurement divide by 4 and then plus 2 inches. So for this tutorial, we'll be using bust 40. So if you divide bust 40 by 4, that is 10 inches. And then when you add 2 to your 10 inches, we have 12. So on this box here, I have 12 on this side, and on this side, I have 12. So we'll pick this place as our front pattern and this place as our back pattern. We'll be drafting both the front and the back pattern together. So let's begin. So the first thing we'll do here is to mark the neckline. Neckline is usually 3 by 3 standard, but if you want to get a very accurate measurement for your neck, you can divide your bust measurement by 12 and it will give you the accurate measurement for your neck. The next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the back measurement. So the back measurement for this bodice is 8 inches. Remember, this measurement, we are not adding any sewing allowance to it. It's just the measurement itself. So from that 8 inches, I will come down by 1.5 for the front shoulder slope. Remember, I told you I'm going to connect it to the neck this way. Yeah, if you remember, I told you that our shoulder measurement is not straight, it's usually slanted. So I'm going to do for the back, I'm going to take the measurement for the back. The neck is 3 inches and then the back is 8 inches. So, but for the back, I'll be coming down on the neckline by 1 inch this way here. 1 inch here for the neckline, and then on the shoulder slope, I'll be coming down by 1 inch here. So for the neckline, I'm going to use this curved ruler here to mark the neckline this way. That is for the back neck. And then this 1 inch, I'm going to connect it to the neck like that. I hope you can see what I did here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I want to construct the armhole here. So to construct the armhole, we are going to divide the bust measurement by 6 and add 1.5 to it. So if I divide 40 by 6 and add 1.5 to it, I'm going to get 8.1. So I'm going to place the 8.1 from my back slope down. So because I want to have a straight line here, I'm going to add this 1 inch to it. So if I add this 1 inch to the 8.1, I'm going to have 9.1. So I'm going to start from this edge and mark my 9.1 here, come to the center here, do the same thing, and then on this side I'm going to mark the 9 here, and then I will use my straight ruler to connect the lines together just like that. So I'm connecting, I'm drafting for the armhole, I'm drafting the armhole line. So here on this line here, I'm going to bring down the back measurement, which is 8. Remember the back measurement, and I'm going to connect it to this shoulder slope like that. I'm going to do the same thing for the back too. I'm going to take the 8 inches, that's the back measurement, and I'm going to connect it to this back slope like that. Then I'm going to take the measurement, I'm going to look for the half here. I like to do this, the midpoint of this armhole. You can see that I'm using the back armhole, and then I'm going to take it, the same measurement, I'm going to put it here in front and then mark at the same point. So for the back here, I will come in by half inch here, and connect this half inch to this slope, just like this. But for the front, I'll come in by 3/4. I'll come in by 3/4 here, and then I'll connect it to the shoulder slope, just like that. So the next thing we will do is to get the bust measurement, divide by 4 is 10. So I'm going to put my 10 here, and I'm going to add just 0.25 as is here on this side. I'm going to do the same thing too on this side. 10, which is the bust measurement, divided by 4 plus 0.25 just for ease. And when that is done, I'm going to use my curve here to create the perfect armhole curve, just like that. It's very easy. You can watch the video again for proper understanding. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to mark out the difference between my front and my back measurement. The difference between my front and my back measurement is 1.5. My front measurement is 15. My front measurement is 16.5, but my back measurement is 15, which is 1.5 lesser than the front. So I'm going to mark that out here. That's what I'm doing here. I'm marking out the difference between the front and the back measurement. So now here I'm going to measure just in front alone the bust point. So the bust point I'm using for this tutorial is bust point 11.5. So I'm going to mark the 11.5 here, and I'm going to mark the 11.5 on this side. The bust point is just going to be for the front alone, not for the front and the back, just for the front alone, just like that. Then the next thing is I want to measure my bust separation. This bust separation we are using is 8, and if you divide 8 by 2, that will be 4. Then I will roll it down. I'll make a straight line for the bust separation here, 4. And then on this line here, I'm going to put my dart intake, which is 0.5 on both sides. And then I will connect it from the top of the line all the way down. This is very simple. Just watch it over and over, and then I'm sure you will get it. So this dart is to give your top the fitting that it needs here. So the next thing we'll do is to take the measurements. This is the waist. This is the waist here. The waist here. This is the bust point, and this is the armhole point here. So on the waist here, I'm going to take the waist measurement. So the waist measurement we are using for this draft is waist 34. If I divide 34 by 4, I will get 8.5. So if I measure here, I'm going to put 8.5 here. But remember that we have taken out 1 inch for the dart. So I'm going to replace the 1 inch. Always replace your dart intake. If not, your garment is going to be small. So I'm going to roll it this way. So this is the front bodice. But before we move to the back again, on this side, I'm going to put the difference between my front and back measurement. The question a lot of people usually ask is, if the front measurement is longer than your back measurement, won't the garment be longer in front? But this is where we create the balance. When you remove the difference between your front and your back measurement here, this is what is called the bust dart. So if you put the same thing you take out from the back, you replace it here. By the time you cut out the draft and you close up this place, you are going to have the two, both the front and the back together. And this bust dart is very important because it gives your garments the kind of fitting it needs by the side. I hope you understand. So let's go back to the back side. So on the back side here, we are going to measure the bust separation, which is 4 here, and on this line I'm going to measure 4 here because I want to get a straight line. But I'm not going to start the straight line from the armhole line. I will come down by 1 here, and then I will do the line all the way down like that. Then from here, remember the dart intake is 0.5. we are using 0.5 for this draft. So depending on the style you are making, if you want it to be fitted, you can tighter or more fitted, you can increase the dart. But for this basic, we are going to use 0.5. Now the next thing we are going to do is, we don't want to leave our back pattern like this, because if you leave the back pattern like this, after making the garment, the back side is going to have a fold by the waist. So what you would need to do here is to take off 1/2 inch from here and connect the 1/2 inch directly to your neck line, the back neckline, just like that. So with this, you are sure that after making the garment, the back will not have any funny puff when you are done. So basically, this is what we have for our basic bodice draft. This is what we have for our basic bodice. But before I go, I want to show you a little secret. Now let's go back to the shoulder line here. After all this is done, from the shoulder line here, I'm going to take off 0.5. This 0.5 I'm taking off here will give my neckline a very flat and solid, a very flat shape. I'm not going to have any form of gaping in front. Then on the back side, I will just take out 0.25, which is like half of 1/2 inch. So this will be 0.25 here. So with this, you are sure that your neckline will not have any form of gaping. Then on the bottom line here, where I have my dart, by the side, I will take 1/2 inch by this side and I will connect it to the first dart leg, like that. And then on this side, the back side, I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, sorry, before I do here, we've not drafted the waist. The waist, remember the waist for the back too is 8.5, and I'm taking the 8.5 away from this back tightening. So here I have my 8.5. Remember, I have a dart here, a dart of 1 inch. So I'm going to replace the dart here 1 inch, and then I will connect it to the bust line here. Okay, so now here I can take away the 1/2 inch on this side, 1/2 inch on this side, and then here I'm going to take 0.25, and then from here I will join it to the first dart leg here, and on this side I'm going to join this to this dart leg here. Now this adjustments that I have just made here with the blue pen is going to help you to eliminate any kind of side puff or squeeze by the time you are done with your garment. So this bodice pattern is just from your shoulder to your waist. So from here, you can add any other thing you want to add. If it's a peplum, you can add a peplum. If you want to add your skirt, if you want to add your trousers, anything you want to add, you can add it from here. So right now, this is the end of this class. I'm sure that you must have learned something from it. Please make sure you subscribe. It's going to help me, encourage me to make more videos. And if you have any question, please just drop your question on the comment section. Thank you.